A few uploads ago, I did a video on why we get stage fright and what exactly is it. Well, this video, we're gonna talk about what can you do to get rid of it. So here's my top 3 tips to combat stage fright. Number 1 on the list is preparation and practice. This is the most important. Whether you're giving a solo or you're giving a talk to 1,000 people, you need to be prepared and you need to practice whatever it is you're gonna be doing. We talked about how stage fright starts like not the day of, it starts weeks before. And I said that's a good thing. The reason is because we can use all of that time for preparation and practice. So every time I start thinking in my mind, God, that's freaking me out, I can go, no, hey, why don't I put that energy into preparing for this instead? And I'm talking about getting crazy organized with your preparation. Like, make lists, write it out. If you're doing a solo, we need to make sections. And that way, if you have different sections marked down, if you get lost, instead of getting that deer in the headlights look, we can now go, okay, let's go on to the next section. I got this, I'll just jump over that. Part of our preparation, of course, is practice. We want to practice whatever it is we're doing so much that we're throwing it up like we're sick of it. That's how much you want to practice it. That way, when you get on stage, you're not freaking out that you have to improvise the whole time. You know, hey, I've been preparing for this. I have at least an outline, and at the worst, I know I can do that. Preparing myself mentally as well helps a lot. If you lose the game mentally, you've lost the game. So a lot of times whenever I start thinking, man, I've got this coming up, and you know what, all the thoughts, the thinks, they start going through your head. You can sit there and instead of taking your energy and worrying, you can go, okay, cool. It's 2 weeks out. I have enough time to sit here and prepare and put that time instead of worrying into, wow, okay, so let's think about section 1 of that solo I'm going to be playing. Okay, I'm going to go into this, and then you can put your energy into preparation instead of into being afraid of what's going to be happening. My number 2 tip would be breathing and visualization. Now this may seem strange to you, breathing, visualizing, well, the thing is oxygen has a huge effect on the tension in our muscles. And a lot of times we're breathing shallow, especially when we get into that fight or flight mode, we start breathing very shallow in our chest. So when I say breathing, I mean deep breathing, like through your diaphragm. So what I want your stomach to be going way out. And you're like, oh, well, that'll make me look fat. It's okay, you'll be by yourself, nobody's watching. What we do is we breathe a lot of times through our chest. If we breathe using our diaphragm, pulling the air all the way down to the bottom of our lungs, and that you'll know you're doing that if your stomach's going out instead of your chest going out. Proper breathing has to do with the stomach, not with the chest. You're going to be getting all of that oxygen down to a lot more blood at the bottom of the lungs. As well, taking the time to breathe like that will center you and it'll calm you down. Now, what I suggest is either give yourself 2 minutes of deep breathing by yourself in quiet alone, or count. So like 30 breaths, and you're like, Steven, it's 30. No, there's nothing magical about 30. It's just if I tell you to breathe, you're going to take 2 or 3 shallow breaths and think you breathe. While you're breathing, it's important to begin to visualize things. Athletes do this all the time, and what I want you to do is visualize the perfect performance. So go from the minute you walk on the stage until the minute you hit that last note. You're thinking through the whole thing, and it's a perfect performance. And by doing that, you're going to be ingraining in yourself some success before you even get out there. And my 3rd tip is watch what you eat. Before your performance, stay away from caffeine, stay away from a lot of artificial sugary foods, and stay away from big meals. So you don't want to eat a huge meal right before you go out on stage. What I do suggest is if you have to eat before, make it a really small meal. Drink lots of water, no Cokes, no coffee, and if you're not eating a full meal, a great snack to calm you down and give you energy is a banana. There's a lot of research on why a banana is one of the most perfect fruits, and that's why you see a ton of athletes throwing them down when they're at halftime. And there you go, 3 practical tips for combating stage fright. Start way in advance and know that stage fright is completely natural, and it's just the fight or flight response being enacted in our body. We just have to learn how to overcome that. If you haven't signed up for the email list, you should. There's a free download, 30 Days to Better Doubles 2.0. We just re-recorded it. Lots of new stuff. tons of sheet music, tons of worksheets. The link is below this. There's still a $1 7-day trial going on of a Drum Better Daily membership. Please take advantage of that if you need drum lessons in an organized fashion. Hang out with me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or here on YouTube. But regardless of what you do, I'll see you here in the next video.